All right. Hello and good morning, everybody. Happy 5th of July. Hope you had a very restful and restorative 4th. Let's see. Still don't have the curtains in, so we're rolling with the sunglasses because it is extra bright here this morning. But they should be coming here in the coming days. I'm going to go ahead and get myself in order as you guys make your way into the stream. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. And short week, right? So again, we're expecting low volume type stuff, low volume movement. Overall, still expect green, by the end of the week here, just because that is typically what we get historically on holiday weeks. But yes, as we kind of dive into today, we'll see if we got any good, any promising leads, any promising setups. We had a few that we closed out with on Monday. So we'll see what we got going on here this morning. Okay. Good morning, everyone, again. I hope you had a great, safe holiday. Yes, good morning. Good morning. Vivian, Carla, Alicia, Coco, good morning. Hope everybody had a great day. I had a very active day yesterday, hanging with the fam, playing some pool volleyball, running around, throwing the football around. So nice, fun, just heart-filling, active day, which you can't really ask for anything better. Let's go ahead and dive into what we got going on here. No need to draw this out this morning. Not gonna lie, I went to sleep late last night. I had my alarm set for the PM instead of the AM, so I was up at like 8:30 this morning. But still ready to see what the market has for us here, and if there's any necessity to move anything around or execute or make any type of trades. In terms of our top news here, we're going to dive straight in. Critical technology, call it a trade war, a tech war, or even a chip war, but the fight between the world's two largest economies is ratcheting up to the next level. China has unveiled a set of national security restrictions that are likely to further disrupt the global supply chain by placing export controls on metals like gallium and germanium. The ingredients are key to semiconductors, electric vehicles, and aerospace manufacturing, with shares of rare element players like AXT, whose ticker is AXTI, and MP Materials, whose ticker is MP, rising about 9% on the news pre-market. Any broadening of the restrictions could be even more problematic, with China stepping up countermeasures if the U.S. imposes more tech curbs. So we're right back in trade war territory where we were, a few years ago with China under the Trump administration, where it was just tit for tat, tariff for tariff, raise for raise. And we've been, enacting a lot of tariffs on them and, really just kind of pushing the pedal to the metal when it comes to the restrictions that we're putting on them. So what are they doing? They're retaliating. So to go a little bit deeper and give the backdrop, last summer saw the passing of the CHIPS Act, which allowed the federal government to pour billions of dollars into the semiconductor sector to, quote, lead the world in future industries and protect national security. The Biden administration followed up with serious export controls to prevent American firms or any global company that uses their tech from selling chip designs, software, and equipment to Beijing. It also prohibited U.S. nationals from working with Chinese chip companies to slow their technological advances. As it looks to isolate the country, the U.S. even lobbied the Netherlands and Japan to curb exports of certain advanced chip-making equipment, though some analysts still believe that time is on China's side. Also read how semiconductors play into the situation in Taiwan. I think we all know about that, right? Taiwan Semiconductor, they export something like 90% of the chips used around the world. So obviously that's why China wants to maintain a stranglehold on Taiwan and why the U.S. keeps sticking its nose in it. Now, chips are used in just about anything today, just about everything today, making the modern economy possible. But the bigger concerns here are those used in sensitive military technologies. The most advanced integrated circuits let nations stay far ahead of their rivals in terms of weapon systems and intelligence gathering, and more broadly are a statement of geopolitical power. As China grows its influence, the country has been making strides towards producing its own advanced chips and has even surprised the U.S. with its latest military developments. Remember the Chinese hypersonic missile test that went around the world in 2021? So yeah, I mean, I feel like China is out here kind of flexing, showing its military strength, and that's not something that the U.S. is taking lightly. And as a result, we've been trying to limit their access to chips, and now they're kind of striking back and doing the same thing. So, we'll see. To the rescue, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, the top U.S. economic policymaker, will head to China tomorrow, just weeks after Secretary of State Antony Blinken visited the country. Ahead of the trip, Chinese leader Xi Jinping said he wanted to work with other nations to, quote, reject the moves of setting up barriers, decoupling, and severing supply chains. Quote, we should make the pie of win-win cooperation bigger, he added, and ensure that more development gains will be shared more fairly by the people across the world. Things are increasingly turning sour, however, with the U.S. considering curbs on Chinese companies' access to the cloud computing services, as well as a new advisory that warns Americans to reconsider travel to mainland China. I don't think you can get more flagrant with the writing on the wall than what we're seeing now. Again, tensions are higher than they've ever been with China in recent history, and that's showing. You had that general who came out and said, hey, yeah, I expect war by 2025. We're midway through 2023. Things are heating up and continue to get hotter. That's really where we're at. I mean, at this point, if they're saying, hey, as a U.S. citizen, don't travel to mainland China, I don't know what other type of warning you need. If it's no longer okay, really, to travel there, it seems like the issue is really, really precipitous, right? Really boiling over and materializing. So I think that this is just a further, kind of impact on the pulse check that we're getting here, on this escalating tension between the U.S. and China. So it's one of those things where you just continue to keep your ear to the streets, but this just helps you understand, like, when news finally does break, it's not out of nowhere, right? I feel like a lot of people think, oh, this really happened out of nowhere. This was so surprising. And no, right? If you're plugged in every day and every morning, you see this tit for tat going on, you see the writing on the wall, you see all these different signs, it's very apparent what the likely outcome is. And I think that, we'll just have to keep tracking it until that either becomes full out war or it doesn't. Now, in terms of stocks here, second half, the stock rally in the last 2 days of June pushed the broad market out of the historical sweet spot for second half performance, according to BMO strategist Brian Belsky. Investing group leader Brett Jensen also says the stock market has become increasingly overbought, with the S&P 500 climbing 15.9% in the first half of 2023 and sees a reckoning on the horizon. Over in the bullish camp, Seeking Alpha analyst Michael James McDonald believes the current market rally is not over. A 5% market correction may occur, but the longer-term uptrend will remain intact until there are more bulls and fewer bears. The longer-term uptrend will remain intact until there are more bulls and fewer bears. Don't really understand what he means by that. Like, I feel like it will remain intact as long as there are more bulls and fewer bears, not like it will remain intact until there are more bulls and fewer bears, because at that point, the bears would take control and the trend would change. So I don't really know exactly what that quote was supposed to mean, but maybe it didn't come out exactly how he thought it was going to come out. Let's see here. In terms of consumer news, the mustard belt following a weather delay that pushed off the event for several hours. Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest got underway Tuesday afternoon on the corner of Surf and Stillwell Avenues in Coney Island. Many more watched the ESPN telecast of the event, which has been going on formally since 1972. Defending men's champion Joey Jaws Chestnut ate 63 hot dogs during the gluttonous showdown. That is truly gluttonous, winning the coveted mustard belt for the 16th time. While Nathan's stock has also had some luck over the past year, rising 36% since July 4th of 2022. Quote, the company's generally solid results are expected to continue into fiscal year 2023, right? Seeking Alpha analyst Mike Zaccardi. Yeah, you know that we're in a holiday week, right? A shortened holiday week with not a lot of news, when we're sitting here talking about the freaking hot dog eating contest with vigor, right? And talking about Nathan's stock price. Let's see. In terms of today's markets, it looked like as of earlier, everything was red in Asia. Japan were down 0.3, Hong Kong down 1.6, China down 0.7, India down 0.1. The footy in London at midday down 0.5%, Paris down 0.6, Frankfurt down 0.5, the Dow down 0.4, S&P down 0.4, Nasdaq down 0.5, crude up 2%, gold up 0.3%, Bitcoin down 1.8% to 30,454. And then in terms of today's economic calendar, we've got an OPEC meeting. That's pretty big, pretty important. We get FOMC minutes released at 2 p.m. So it's not anything new. It's just minutes from the last meeting. So we weren't privy to, kind of what was going on in the last meeting. We always get the notes afterward, and that's what we're getting here. So overall, shortened holiday week, low volume. We get chop, kind of all day long. Again, I expect this to finish higher just based off historical standards. That's by Friday, right? Today is Wednesday. We still got today's session, Thursday session, Friday session. So, we'll see if there's anything worth making moves on. We scoped out a couple things last week there. PayPal being one of them, and identifying that bullishness, and a few things not last week, but last session where we were all here. So again, we'll see if anything nice kind of sticks out, worth taking a stab at. In terms of some survey results here, pay back your student loans in full. I guess they just did a survey on people and their opinion about student loans and whatnot. Saudi Arabia to extend oil production cuts by an extra month. That's probably why, we have oil up here. And, we'll probably hear some more about that today during the OPEC meeting. So we'll keep our eyes and ears open. I'm sure we'll go over tomorrow whatever is, reviewed during the OPEC meeting here today. And let's see, do we have any? I think we had some data that was supposed to come out as well. Let's see about that data. All right, Wednesday, July 5th, ADP employment data, and then the Fed minutes. And then Thursday, tomorrow, we have initial jobless claims. And then Friday, we get the employment report and then the unemployment rate. So definitely got some data sprinkled in here throughout the rest of the week, most of it being pre-market. Let's see. Apple slashes Vision Pro target amid production woes. Yeah, I feel like Apple really tried to rush that headset out and just were not ready. Disney, ticker Diz, and Universal duke it out at the box office. Instagram's Meta, or Instagram, who's owned by Meta. Instagram's Twitter rival available for pre-order on App Store. And then BlackRock, ticker BLK, Fidelity refile spot Bitcoin ETF applications. Trump SPAC, ticker DWAC, reaches in-principle settlement with SEC. Illumina, ticker ILMN, faces record fine from EU over Grail deal. Moderna applies for EU approval of updated COVID jab. Paycom, Chipotle among Goldman's rule of 10 screens. I have no idea what that means, but I guess we'll just end off there on the question mark for the pre-market prep session of July 5th, 2023. Like I said, I hope everybody had a great holiday. Took some time to rest, relax. Even if you didn't, maybe you spent that time running around, but you did it with family, which is also, an amazing time, an amazing experience. We'll see what we got going on today, right? We see SPY, I guess, opening red here, likely in result to China and, what China it was doing with those restrictions they went ahead and imposed. So, we'll see. Not really sitting here in SPY calls or anything. So it's not like it's really of any consequence. We're just kind of sitting and observing and making the right decisions, seeing what happens. We're gapping down. We'll see if that gap just instantly gets bought up or what ends up happening. But, you don't really have to expect, they can happen, but you don't really have to expect any like huge major moves of the market this week, just given, the fact that it's a shortened week and we'll likely have low volume. Checking out the daily volume from, wow. The daily volume was so low on what was that, Monday and Tuesday. It was just Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday was the 4th. Wow. Yeah, we haven't had volume as low as we did on Monday in months. I can't even see. Maybe it was November of 2022. Might have been the last day that we had a volume that was that low. So It's just like when you have volume that's that low, you don't really get any conviction. You can have fake outs. So you're not really trying to do a whole lot. We'll see if some opportunities arise, but very, very low volume on Monday. I think everybody and their mama literally took off. So we'll see if we get the same type of action today. It might just end up being a sit tight day, but you never know, right? Make sure you pay attention so you don't miss anything. There might be some quality looks that end up getting called out. But other than that, everybody have a great rest of your day, right? I'll see you back here tomorrow for our next pre-market prep session. Peace, people.